Okay, hello YouTube. I'm kind of going to do this little experiment on myself where I'm going to take a look and see if the openings that win the most statistically for black, if the moves that I'm playing are actually any good. So we're going to take a look at the objective assessment, we're going to take a look at the moves, and we're going to see if these two things match up. So anyway, so the most common move that people play against me as white is of course e4, and of course we can see all these different moves that I played, and we see this really small sample size of moves here where I've played e6, I've played the French defense, and I've won 100% of the time. So I don't even need to click on this, because I remember what this was, I basically told a friend of mine that I thought that I could beat him if I played e6 and then moved my king back and forth for a whole bunch of moves. I thought that our rating difference was so great that I would still win, and of course I did it, and I did win. We played 2 games. I won both games. So we already know the answer to this. Super small sample size. Black's position is objectively terrible. Actually, Black's position is objectively completely lost after another 5 moves because it was totally awful. So we'll just skip this one and we'll go to the next best one where I did with Black, which is c5, which is my most common move. c5, so we have a Sicilian, we have knight f3, the most common, and then we have knight f6, and this is another weird one. This is a statistical outlier. Knight f6 was probably a mouse slip on my part. I probably didn't intend it. Knight f6, knight c3, like I never play this, but apparently the one time that I played it, I managed to get a win against the one player that I played it against. So, but objectively the position is slight edge white, but so is every other position. So, but only one sample. So let's take a look at d6 just so we can have a more interesting video. d4 is the most common move, and what am I winning the most with statistically? Well, cd4, which I'm playing every time but one. This is clearly a mouse slip, c4. And I did lose that game. So c takes d4, we have knight takes d4 is the most common. Knight f6 is the move I play exclusively. I'm scoring really well in the Open Sicilian. I'm scoring 54%. That's amazing. So knight to c3, I had no idea I scored this well in the Open Sicilian. This is actually pretty incredible. I'm discovering something new about myself. So my dragon's doing really well. The only 2 times I've ever played the knight or if I won. Performance rating 3119. Oh, that's cool. I gotta click on that. I gotta find out. I was playing against, decent players. Like, they weren't bad. We have 1 game in bishop g5, 1 game in bishop e3, and it looks like I played all the theory. No, that was a mistake. So I'm losing there. b5's a mistake. Like, e5 is correct, so I didn't know the theory all that well. So probably I'm at least knowing the theory a little bit better in the stuff that I play more often, which is g6. So, again, we're coming up with the moves that win the most statistically, don't necessarily line up with objective assessments. So we have bishop e3, so I'm playing this dragon variation a lot, and I'm winning 75% of the time with knight c6, which I've only played 4 times. So again, super small sample size. Knight c6, against decent enough players, though. We've got bishop c4, knight c6. Well, knight c6 is bad. Bishop c4 is kind of interesting. Bishop g7, and then we're going back into the main line. So like we're having f3, and then we're having castles, and then we're back into the main stuff here with queen d2. This is all the mainline Yugoslav, which I'm doing surprisingly well in. I do know these variations really well. And one of the nice things about playing the dragon with black is that it's mostly theory. So if you just know the theory better, you can get skewed results like this, where you're winning. You can see here, my opponent's rating was 2560, I was 2487, and I won the game. So you get these kind of skewed results just because it's all theory. So if you know your theory really well, you can win a very high percentage of games. So we have knight e5, bishop to b3. What's my highest percentage here is queen a5. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then we have castles queenside is the most common. Bishop to d7. We're getting into a 2-game and then we have king b1. 122 games back to the main line. I'm winning 71% of the time from this position, which is objectively better for white. But again, I do have actually pretty deep analysis here. So I'm not going to say that the +1 is by any means definitive, because I do have extremely deep analysis, even against the most common move, h4, rook a b8. Wow, look at this slew of wins. I mean, I knew I was playing well in the dragon. I didn't know I was playing this well. Winning 73% of the time against the most common move, against h5. And of course now it's saying, it's liking the exchange sack. Queen takes is the most common. Queen takes, bc3, knight takes h5. it's cool that I'm sacking an exchange. The computer's giving this as objectively a little bit better for white, but just because I'm way more familiar with the position, I mean, after G4, I'm winning 80% of the time. And not against slouches either. I mean, the position is objectively equal, but I guess I'm just playing the position just a little bit better than everybody else really consistently. Wow, that's kind of cool. So, I mean, again, we have this weird thing where the objective assessment of the position doesn't quite line up with the result that you're seeing. And in this case, yeah, I'm going to say that a lot of it is just because I am so incredibly well prepared in the weirdness of this. So it's giving a pretty skewed result because, of course, I'm playing a lot of these games off of my own personal, years and years of computer preparation in the Dragon, and that's skewing the results pretty horribly. So if somebody's playing into this in a blitz chess game, they're playing into my wheelhouse. So they're really letting me do the thing that I'm gonna do the best, which is just kind of regurgitate Dragon theory. So I guess that's the opening that I'm kind of doing the best in statistically when you eliminate all the other outliers and all the other weird small sample sizes. I'm doing really, really good in the Dragon Sicilian. Okay, so anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you learned something new about chess. None of this is meant as a suggestion for what opening you could play. Just a fun, quirky statistical analysis to see if the objective assessments line up with the results in my personal games. So anyways, I hope you found this video fun. Please hit that like button, hit subscribe, click on your notification icon, and thank you very much for watching.